Number 3 Gonzaga beats number 1 Duke, wins Maui in Hachimura's coming out party. Lahaina, Hawaii. For a player, and person, who rarely shares his emotions or his thinking, it was a rather remarkable moment. After nearly 40 minutes of some of the best college basketball that will happen this or any year, Rui Hachimura's eyes lit up when the man many expect to be the first name from Adam Silver's lips next June squared up and took aim at him and the rim he was protecting. Third-ranked Gonzaga led by 2, and number 1 Duke's R.J. Barrett was ready to barrel into the lane to change that in the final seconds. "He switched on me and then he tried to play one-on-one against me," Hachimura said. "And then I was like, okay, let's do it. We're the best team in the country, and I'm the best player, too, so I have to guard him." That confidence proved no hubris. Barrett got into the lane and met a wall in Hachimura's chest, forcing him to flail and finish around him, allowing for Gonzaga's Brandon Clark to swat the ball in Duke's perfect start to the season away as the Bulldogs won the Maui Invitational with an 89-87 victory over the Blue Devils in a masterpiece in paradise. For a Gonzaga team that looked vulnerable against both Illinois and Arizona, it was almost a stunning result against a Duke team that previously had looked potentially invincible. If you can win this tournament, the premier tournament, every year and with this kind of field and everybody was saying was the greatest ever, Gonzaga coach Mark Few said, "I think that it's more a culmination of the 3 wins and how we did it. We certainly didn't play perfect in games 1 or 2, but figured out ways to get through them." At the center of it all is the 6-foot Hachimura, a likely lottery pick and a burgeoning star. He had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists and 3 blocks against the Blue Devils, putting his immense talent and versatility on display for the dozens of NBA scouts and general managers in attendance and anyone with can distinguish between a basketball and a spatula. He was awesome. He is awesome. He's apparently starting to fully realize it. I've been working on him to truly believe that, Few sighed. He doesn't show his emotions great. He doesn't share much, but much more comfortable talking like that, and for him to voice that means he's getting it, and I think on this stage he showed it too. He was wanting the ball, and when we got him the ball for the most part he was delivering against some high-level athletes and some damn good defenders around the rim. So that's a really good sign for us. It's far from the only positive totem for the Bulldogs, who led Duke, which crushed Kentucky and easily handled Auburn already this season, by as many as 16 points and then held off the late rally from coach Mike Krzyzewski's talented freshman foursome. "They're strong, they're old, and they're unselfish and they play their butts off," Krzyzewski said. "And Hachimura gives them a guy that you can go to get a bucket or get fouled. But he's better because the other guys are good too. In other words, you can't just double team him or whatever. Well, you can try, but another good player is going to be open. They have good weapons." It was hardly a disappointing result for Duke, which nearly shrugged off a massive punch from one of the country's best teams. If Barrett makes different decisions with the ball late, maybe Duke leaves Maui with a trophy. Not bad for a team of freshmen in November. Duke undoubtedly will find another Gear 6 with its roster before the NCAA tournament and perhaps a rematch with these Zags in Minneapolis. Gonzaga will, too. The Bulldogs are without Killian Tilly, the 6'10" French national who is every bit an NBA prospect. When he returns from an ankle injury, Gonzaga will become even more fearsome. "When we get Killian back, that will continue to get better and better," Few said. "But it was good, not great here. But we got a lot of stuff on film we can go home and really spend some time with. That time and their talent should make for a powerful combination. Just like Hachimura's emerging belief in what a ferocious presence he can be. Like when he's faced with an aggressive challenge bearing down on him and meets it with fearlessness. My thinking was like I had to do it," he said. "I got to do it." Las Vegas, Kerwin Roach II had a career-high 32 points with 7 assists and 6 steals to lead Texas over number 7 North Carolina 92-89 in the third round of the Las Vegas Invitational on Thursday. Roach also had 6 rebounds and was 12 of 15 from the field, including 3 of 3 from deep. The senior topped his previous best of 26 points with an emphatic dunk with 8:27 left for a 73-65 lead. Roach and North Carolina freshman Kobe White went back and forth all game. White had 33 points, but he missed a three-pointer that would have put the Tar Heels, 5-1, ahead with 1:01 left. He was 7 of 10 from three-point range. Matt Coleman III had 16 points for Texas, 5-0, and Jackson Hayes had 15 points and 9 rebounds. Texas landed a marquee win late on Thanksgiving night, knocking off number 7 North Carolina, 92-89, to advance to the title game of the Las Vegas Invitational. Kerwin Roach was the star, and not just because he popped off for 32 points, 7 assists and 6 boards. Roach, who may just be the best dunker in college basketball this side of Zion Williamson, did this, too. The must-see matchup of Wednesday involved two potential Final Four juggernauts taking part in an instant classic in the finals of the Maui Invitational. Although Duke was heavily favored, and it was Gonzaga that mostly. The Bulldogs led for nearly the entire game as Rui Hachimura paced them with 20 points while Zach Norvell Jr., 18 points, and Brandon Clark, 17 points, also had strong efforts. CBT's Travis Hines has been in Maui all week as he was there to wall from this one. Finding themselves down by 9 at halftime, it looked like the Jayhawks might join Duke in the loss column. Marquette had a blistering first half. The Golden Eagles' usually leaky defense did a great job of slowing down the Kansas offense after a hot start. Then halftime ended and the floodgates opened for the Jayhawks. Kansas started getting comfortable in transition and in the half-court as they outscored Marquette 39-21 in the Jayhawks' defense also swarmed in the second half after a less than inspiring first half. Dedrick Lawson looked like an All-American with 26 points and 12 rebounds. He was helped by three other Kansas players in double figures as the Jayhawks showcased a ton of weapons in the second half. Kansas looked like the Final Four contender many pegged them for in the second half. Things get really interesting on Friday at the NIT season tip-off as Kansas advances to face number 5 Tennessee. The earlier in Brooklyn on Wednesday night as Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield had big games. After we just got on Wednesday, we get number 2 versus number 5 on Friday. College basketball is delivering in a big way during this holiday weekend. It's sad to wave aloha to the Maui Invitational after such a fun week of hoops. But with the final day of Maui also came the opening day of the always competitive Battle for Atlantis. Perhaps the finest ballroom-based basketball tournament in the world, this year's field featured some top 25 teams getting early wins. Others proved themselves with opening round wins, 74-52. To advance behind its trademark defense and balanced scoring. DeAndre Hunter looked tremendous with 15 points, 9 assists and 8 rebounds. Kyle Guy also finished with 15 as Virginia was in total control of this one. As the Badger defense locked down the Cardinal to only 27% shooting. Ethan Happ earned a double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, as he had plenty of help from guards Demetric Trice, 16 points, and Brad Davison, 14 points, as the Badgers are 4-0. Oklahoma knocked off favored Florida, 65-60, as they crushed the Gators on the glass, 48-34. Slowing down Florida's perimeter threats, Oklahoma was led by Christian James 18 points as they improved to 4-0. Dayton also advanced with a win over Butler to move to 4-0 on the season. The Flyers got 20 points from Jalen Crutcher and 18 points from Josh Cunningham. If you're not interested in football, then Thursday features 4 more games from this event as Oklahoma vs. Wisconsin and Dayton vs. Virginia will be the matchups in the winner's bracket. Paradise Island, Bahamas, DeAndre Hunter had 15 points, 9 assists and 8 rebounds to help 4th-ranked Virginia beat Middle Tennessee 74-52 in the last first-round game at the Battle for Atlantis on Wednesday night. Kyle Guy also scored 15 points and Braxton Key added 13 for the Cavaliers, 4-0. Who never trailed but didn't put the game away until midway through the second half. Virginia led 9-0 and 30-9, only to see the Blue Raiders claw to within 38-30 early in the second half. Guy answered with a three-pointer to start a 9-0 run that stretched the lead back out. Middle Tennessee got no closer than 11 again. Virginia shot 46% but finished with a season-high 13 turnovers. Antonio Green scored 11 points to lead Middle Tennessee, 3-2, which shot 39%. The Cavaliers advanced to Thursday's semifinals to face Dayton, while the Blue Raiders will face Butler in the consolation bracket. Georgetown, Cayman Islands, sophomore Tyshawn Alexander made 7 three-pointers and scored a career-high 36 points to lead Creighton past number 16 Clemson 87-82 on Wednesday night in the championship game of the second annual Cayman Islands Classic. Alexander, who was named the most outstanding player of the tournament, was 9 of 16 shooting, missing just 5 from distance, and made all 11 of his free throws. Clemson's Marquise Reed completed a three-point play with 28 seconds left and Elijah Thomas forced a turnover on an inbound play, leading to Shelton Mitchell's shot inside to pull to 83-80. Davian Mintz answered with 2 free throws at the other end, and after Reed was off on a three-pointer, Mintz sealed it with a dunk. Creighton, 5-1, has back-to-back home games against Montana and number 3 Gonzaga, which upset top-ranked Duke 89-87 earlier Wednesday in Maui. Reed was 11 of 22 from the floor and scored 27 points for Clemson, 5-1, reaching 1,001 points with the team. David Scarra had 8 points and 11 rebounds for the Tigers, who play in the ACC/Big Ten Challenge on Monday against Nebraska.